Okay, this video, I just wanted to speak on a past experience. I grew up always wanting to fit in right. So I was raised up in the country and on one side of the family, and then one side was in the hood, right? So I always grew up feeling like I never would fit in. I never was like I was more of a loner, right? And I always wanted to fit in, but no matter how much I tried to fit in, it wouldn't work. So a good portion of my family was in the streets, right? So I thought the culture, the streets was the way to be, you know. And I have a dad that didn't like that, you know. He saw beyond that, and it was almost like I had to always prove myself, right? You gotta be gangster and all this other stuff. The thing is like no matter what was happening, if I would find myself in situations, you know, my cousins or whatnot, that would always stay in some stuff. For some odd reason, I was the one that was damn near front line, you know, when I was around. But I always somehow managed to dodge the bullet, quote unquote. Um, so I had a close relative, right, who was in a toxic relationship. So it was abusive and all this other stuff, right? And her best friend, had called me like 2, 3 in the morning or whatever, and I was in Baton Rouge at the time. My ex and I was sleeping, and I woke up and her friend said that her husband had them hostage with a knife or whatever, right? It was a bad, toxic relationship. It was a lot of violence, right? But the thing is, it was a lot of going back and forth as far as like staying together and breaking up, right? But when I had got that phone call, man, I didn't even think twice. I got my ex up, and I got the AR-15, man. In about 25 minutes, no cap, I was in Lafayette, bro. I literally kicked down that door. And now the thing is I'm not saying that from a bragging right, because I was more upset at myself after after I saw the bigger picture. So he ended up jumping out of like the second floor of the building for whatever reason. But I, thinking back, there was a lot at risk, you know, that could have been my fault. But at the same time, but everybody called, you know, he was calling me or whatever, so I just answered the call to come through. But being in a toxic relationship could have caused a lot, like could have caused me harm and everybody else that was around, my ex, my mom, you know, my siblings, all that other stuff, right? So I could have go to jail, or her daughter could have lost a father, right? This was the crazy part. After I did all of that, they broke up and they ended up being right back together. So if something would have went down, it would have been pretty much in vain. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes love can get you killed. Understand the type of love you're dealing with. For real. Stay out of people's business, you know what I'm saying? Unless they really need you and they have a level mind, because if they're always around negativity or drama and stuff like that, that's not a part of your, you know, that's not your problems. But no matter what you do, after that it's gonna be the same thing, right? It's a toxic, it's a karmic cycle. So I'm happy that everything worked out. You know, that's just one situation I overcame in my past that I'm proud. You know, I'm proud that I made it through that situation. But yeah, man, understand when to let go, you know. And that was one of the toughest lessons I learned. Certain people don't deserve that time and energy because it's draining you or it's bringing you down the path that it's not even on your timeline, right? So just stay focused on your mission, you know. Love yourself more. It's called self-love. It's okay to be a little selfish, but it's self-love. And that was the hardest thing I dealt with growing up, was loving myself more, you know, putting everybody and their needs before mine, and it wasn't reciprocal. So that's just, I don't know, it's one of those things I just felt like sharing. Peace. Another thing I wanted to add in part 2. Be aware that a lot of things that people are doing, they're part of the program, whether they're aware or not, right? So if you're becoming aware of this matrix and everything, the simulation, and you understand the types of games that's being played out, be mindful of who's around you, right? Because there's some robots or some zombies that you may be dealing with. So that healthy boundary is necessary, bro, right? Because it's just going with the flow, you know, one way or the other. So, of course, protect yourself and your family. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But move the right way, if you understand where I'm coming from. Right? Know who you need to be around. Or if you rather go solo, you know. Stay true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself. Fuck what anybody else gotta say. Excuse my language. How they feel. You know what I'm saying? Think big. I said, you gotta think big, bitch. You think it's too small. Think big.
They calling me the futuristic Dick Gregory. They love the waiting for, they call it exposing. When the aliens come, this project beam, this ain't this in the sky, you gon' see.